into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
'Twas the night of the Slammies, and this is our house! We began with Steph yelling at Roman for punching her spouse. Santa was backstage, and he was joined by some chick. Oh wait, that's Noelle Foley and her dad, Saint Mick. We may not have seen the return of COO the game, but New Day spoiled Star Wars. Oh, what a shame.
Shame.
Sorry, just had to clear my throat. Before we recap the winner of each Slammy vote, Cathy Kelley here, and I'm wearing all red everything. And happy to be here talking about the action in the ring. With Ty and with Bill, we're the Raw After Show team. We're on iTunes, on YouTube, on chat and live stream. If you join us, if you enjoy it, make sure to leave a comment below. And without further ado, let's start this dang show.
Wow.
It was awesome. Did that take you the entire 3 hours?
Yes. Yes, the entire 3 hours plus some.
Well done.
It's great. It was perfect. It was absolutely worth the
I gotta
effort.
say, it was
Could have
well
been
done.
better.
I loved it. I'm so happy that I get to be here for that.
Yes. Christmas cheer all around, but Johnny is out, unfortunately. He's already in Christmas mode in, where is he, Pennsylvania?
Could be.
Yeah.
Not gonna see him until 2016. It's so far away.
Well, just a couple weeks. But
Say what?
yeah, we're holding down the fort here at AfterBuzz TV, and very weird not coming in with music.
It was a little weird, but you know, we came in with a poem instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lyrics either way.
I'm a poet, and we're
you
starting
didn't
the show.
even realize it.
Oh, okay.
She's a poet and she wasn't aware.
Yep.
So overall thoughts, we had the Slammy Awards tonight, and matches too. It was a very compact show.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. I mean, it was a compact 3 hours. But
There was a lot to fit in. There was a lot to fit into 3 hours.
There were a lot of abrupt transitions.
Yeah.
Right.
Which took some getting used to.
But I mean, it's the same thing that we see every year. It's the same thing that we see with the Slammies every year. For as much as I enjoyed the 2-time Slammy Award-winning Owen Hart, I feel like we only have the Slammies to say, oh, hey, this guy won a Slammy.
Yeah.
And then nothing ever happens. It's a little bit like the King of the Ring in that aspect.
Yeah.
Can I just say, if I can just tell a tiny little story
Yes.
here? I have a very soft spot in my heart for the Slammies, and I always have, because back before I was even into pro wrestling, before I really knew what pro wrestling was, at one point in the 80s, they used to show Monkeys reruns on MTV.
Okay.
And either one of my stepbrothers or my sister had recorded a 6-hour tape of Monkeys episodes off of a marathon that MTV did. And there were commercials intact, obviously. And I watched this tape of the Monkeys episodes so many times as a kid. And one of the commercials, alongside the Glen Fry Diet Pepsi Heat Is On commercial,
Phenomenal,
was a commercial for the upcoming Slammy Awards that were broadcast live on MTV. And it just
I was wondering where this tangent was going.
It so thoroughly captured my imagination as a child before getting into pro wrestling, of these outlandish figures. They had all these promos of Mean Gene and the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. And as a kid just watching it, I was just captivated by, what is this? And also, even as a kid, I thought, pro wrestling, Slammy Awards, that's brilliant. It really doesn't get enough credit, how clever that is. Because, I mean, come on, the Slammies. So growing up with
Cathy
that,
Kelley level wordplay right there.
Yeah. Growing up with that, it always gave me a soft spot for the Slammies. And then Owen Hart, the 2-time Slammy Award winner, all this great stuff that Miz and Awesome Truth did with it. With
And I definitely, one of my favorite Slammy Memories was Todd Pettengill's musical number from, I believe, 1996, 96 or 97, something like that.
Probably 96.
Just dropping in references that no child would get or should have gotten.
Right.
But you know, I have a soft spot for it as well. But I think, you know, we get a lot of what we saw tonight. A lot of abrupt transitions.
By the way,
There were a lot.
Todd Pettengill is another like very underrated like member of like the WWE Goon Squad.
You know, he doesn't get much credit. We don't hear a lot about Pettengill. We don't hear a lot about Sean Mooney.
Right. He's like the, if not the Eric the actor, he's sort of the Beetlejuice of 90s WWF.
Well, we always get crap for going off subject.
Oh, I'm
so,
sorry.
We got to get back to the
this
show.
is on subject. Y'all were talking about the Slammy.
Yeah, the Slammy.
right.
The pageantry.
Damn right.
There were a lot
Context,
of there were a
y'all.
lot of upsets throughout the evening because
There
it was all
were.
down to fan vote, and
Yeah.
it's really a fan vote.
But how is it an upset if it's a fan vote?
No, but it really proves.
Let's put some pretty huge air quotes
Right.
around fan vote, guys.
Well,
I
mean,
would believe that those are all voted by the fans
the
for
votes,
sure.
the votes that, especially the ones that they announced before the show, like the Usos winning tag team of the year, that's 100% fan vote.
And
but I
we'll
think
talk
that,
about it
Right.
throughout the show, which things
Right.
should have won, why we think they did win. But let's get into tonight's show. Unfortunately, we're in Studio A again, so we don't have very good internet connection, but hopefully Mark can get the chat roll up on our screen so we can see some of your comments, unless Bill can get it on his phone. Thank you so much, Mark, and shout out to you in the booth.
Oh, I cannot read that.
I'll get it
there we
later.
go.
There
Don't
we
worry.
go.
Todd Pettengill does rule.
I'll
Yeah.
make it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donica.
Enhance.
So we kick off the show. Steph McMahon is in the ring, and she says McMahon's don't wallow in pity. They rise to the occasion, and tonight is a night of celebration. Then Roman Reigns' music hits. Roman comes down, and he says, maybe you're trying to be like your daddy and make me sweat, but I don't sweat him, I don't sweat you, and I don't sweat Triple H. Basically, he never sweats.
I'm looking forward to buying my first Roman Reigns shirt that just says "I don't sweat your daddy."
This segment got weird.
Yeah.
Like, they got super weird.
I don't sweat. I'm just constantly drenched.
Right, exactly. For someone
It's
that
not
doesn't sweat,
guys.
he's constantly dripping.
It's my natural secretions.
But it just this segment, it went to a weird place, and
I liked it though. I liked the back and forth that they had of like him. Well, he was just kind of smug, and she's like, "Get out of my ring!"
I know,
yelling at him.
but it was
and then
that
the second,
times 1,000,
Yeah.
just ad nauseum.
I felt like it really turned around though. Like
when he turned around.
Yes, when he duck seasoned, rabbit seasoned her.
Right.
It actually like that's when I got won over by it. Like, okay, that's pretty cute. Also, like, it just makes me really happy at this point to like week after week see Roman coming out to like legitimate huge babyface reactions. Like it's really like, for as much as
He's completely turned around with the fans. That's what it is.
yeah.
Not just facing.
Well,
away from stuff.
I mean, it was a slow burn. Taking him away from the title scene for so long was
Right,
really beneficial to him, and he's put it all together. And for as much as a lot of people complain about the sort of childish standard WWE babyface stuff that he's doing, it's working, and you can see that in the fan reactions.
I don't know. I feel like the reason that people got behind him so hard last week is because he finally got a chance to just wreck
Unleash.
things and just really. And I think
and unleash on two people that the fans really hate:
exactly
Vince McMahon and Triple H.
And I think that gave us a sense that this is the Roman Reigns that a lot of the fans and a lot of the universe want to see, and not necessarily just a clone of his cousin.
This too, I mean, when we don't get Roman Reigns just doing nuts jokes the entire time, this is what we want to see of like him. He was listening to the crowd's reaction, and he was reacting himself. That's something that we've seen from him before, but not in this capacity.
This is one entire episode of Raw where he did not compare anyone's testicles to another thing.
That's only because he wasn't opposite any men to compare their testicles to.
He probably could have found a way.
He
he probably could have been like, "Oh, hey, Stephanie, is that your husband's chestnuts I smell roasting on an open fire? Or does he only have little mistletoe berries?"
I'm pretty shocked that didn't happen now that you mentioned that.
Yeah. Anyways, this opening segment, I really enjoyed it. But After Steph yells at Roman, he's walking away, and she continues to yell at him, announcing that his cousins, the Usos, will be in a handicap match tonight against the New Day, and his brother Dean Ambrose has to face Sheamus in a steel cage match.
His brother.
Yep.
His legitimate shoot brother.
Versus the Samoan Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
And then she says, because of you, there's going to be hell to pay. So, first Slammy of the evening, Breakout Star of the Year. This is announced by Dolph Ziggler, who is rocking a man bun, and
He looked so much like Tyler Breeze in a tux and a ponytail.
Right.
Especially with like the purple bow tie.
Right, exactly.
It was a little eerie. Like,
Right.
Tyler Breeze was dressing him.
Sure.
Now you've got my slash fic.
There you go.
You've peeked into my diary.
OTP, y'all.
Just kiss.
Nominees were Charlotte, Braun, Neville, Owens, and Breeze, with Neville winning this one. Is that what you guys expected?
No,
Not
I was
really.
surprised.
No.
Really? Okay.
Not at
I
all.
expected Owens to win, but I think that this was the right thing to happen because Owens got to steal the show.
Right.
I really wanted Owens to win, but I thought that Charlotte would win because she was the only female in this category. I thought she was a shoo-in because the votes would have been separated otherwise. It would have been hilarious to hear Braun come out and talk on the mic, too.
Thanks to everyone.
It just gives a really heartfelt
this
speech.
great honor.
But no, I
Doesn't
think
blink.
I was a little bit surprised because I think Neville's put on a lot of good matches, but
yes.
nobody's gotten as close to the main event picture as Kevin Owens has.
And this
Neville's
is
been the longest on the main roster this year, though, right?
no, Neville came up before Owens did. Because
No, that's what I'm saying. Neville came up
Not
first.
it might be not by much though.
Okay.
But I mean, I was surprised because Owens is the guy, they put him over, like they said over the course of the night, they put him over a 15-time world champion in his very first match. He had a main title run almost right away. So it's hard to make a case for anyone having a better breakout year than him.
Charlotte winning the Divas Championship.
But I mean, did she beat a 15-time champion in her first match?
right.
But she
beat the
was
longest reigning Divas
She made me
champion.
cry. She had a good year.
Like Neville winning sort of proves two things. It proves like people are really into Neville despite him not necessarily getting a huge push.
Sure.
He really captivates people's imaginations, and it also proves that like along with like the Usos winning the tag titles and like some other things that happen, it proves that like although the internet smarks who complain are like the loudest,
Right.
they're not the most.
Oh, sure.
Haywood Wong on our chat said that he thinks that Neville is underused.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. That's 100% true for sure. And I think that's why we're so surprised that he won, because not because he's not insanely talented, because he obviously is, but I think because we expected there to be more done with him in his first year.
I
He
think
had a
Neville.
couple of great matches with Owens and Rollins where he was just that close to winning, but it was taken out of his
And
hands.
also his U.S. title challenge against Cena.
Oh,
where he
for sure.
almost- and he's also like
He got to tag team with Stephen Amell. That's
Yeah.
a pretty big deal.
yeah, and both him and both him and Owens are the two people on the roster whose finishers have not been kicked out of. They have been
That's a good point.
avoided.
That's
They
a
have
very
been
good point.
countered, but neither the Red Arrow nor the pop-up powerbomb has been kicked out of.
Has Cena never kicked out
Oh
of the
wait,
pop-up?
Cena might have.
He might.
My mistake. But the Red Arrow.
the Red Arrow is still
but
pretty
I think,
bulletproof,
I think
yeah.
this shows that Neville has that thing that Dolph Ziggler has, where no matter what his role, no matter how much he's losing, people are going to be behind him.
And enjoy
Sure.
his matches.
Sure, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope for more for him than just a solid hand.
Yeah. So during Neville's acceptance speech, Owens comes out, yells at Neville, and that was great.
I cracked up so much at Neville being like, "Whatever, Kevin," and then leaving.
Walks away.
Right. Like, well,
Very
see
home
you
alone.
later.
Very, very home alone.
Yeah.
It's just so funny, like
Kevin, you're
Kevin.
a
His name
disease.
is Kevin. That's just
It's such a
funny.
bully name.
Yeah.
It's such like he's just your older brother that just like picks on you all the time.
Yeah. Let's talk about this next Wyatt family match where
okay if we have to.
I mean,
what do you think? You don't like it.
Well, hold on a minute, playa.
Tag
we
team
gotta
match.
have Teddy Long song for
a
tag team matches. The Undertaker.
Kane.
Yep. The
The
Big
Dudley
Show.
Boys. Someone on chat was asking why Tommy Dreamer didn't get a nomination for Surprise Return of the Year.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I was surprised that the Usos didn't get a nomination for Surprise Return of the Year. I was pretty shocked at that return. I was certainly more surprised at that than I was at Chris Jericho's comeback.
Well, yeah.
Quote unquote comeback.
That's like Cher. It's his 12th comeback.
Yeah, exactly. At a
Retirement
certain
tour.
point.
Well, he said he's never going to have a retirement tour, but he always just leaves and then comes back. He knows, like, the psychology of people, they'll miss you more when you're away, and then you come back and it's a huge pop no matter
Oh man,
what.
I forgot that was another match we didn't talk about when we were talking about Neville. Is that match with Jericho at Beast in the East?
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal stuff.
Ruled.
But yes.
So this matchup, Dudley Boys and Tommy Dreamer run in.
Well, it starts to set the table. It starts as Bray Wyatt versus Kane, very
weird.
briefly, but also very weird.
Also, because this was the first time in the night where we really noticed, like, oh, the Wyatt family is already in the ring.
Right.
Just hanging out.
We're getting lots of already in the ring entrances tonight, guys.
Yeah. No music, no setup, just in the ring.
We gotta get
ready
those
to go.
awards
I
in.
really want to see like a fan cam of like what they were doing that whole time when like they were awarding a Slammy on the stage.
Right.
There wasn't his entrance.
Yeah, no entrance. Sad.
That's
Very
always
sad.
the coolest, though.
Right.
So Harper does a lariat to Devon, I think, pins him for the win, and that is that. First match of the night.
We need to move on from this Dudley's Wyatt feud. Like it's got to be over. This has got to be
after
the
that incredible 8-man last week on Raw. That was the perfect way to wrap it
Last
up.
week's Raw was just the top.
I think-
that
yeah,
was
like-
one of my
sure.
favorite episodes of this entire year.
Definitely.
Reportedly, the Wyatts and Dudleys are moving on from this feud, and I think
Right.
that the only reason that they didn't do like what's the next step for the Wyatts is because they had so little time to devote to everything tonight.
Sure.
That would have been a pretty big angle to like have them officially move on to something.
Definitely, yeah.
So hopefully,
But it
next
was
week
just
we'll-
weird that it was just the exact same match, but with Kane swapped out with Rhino.
Super weird. Maybe Rhino like got snowed in or something.
Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it just seems weird because I feel like they use him so much better down at NXT of having great matches with these guys and helping them come up.
And actually letting him gore people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
In college, do you think he was a member of a sorority?
God damn it. What?
I know it doesn't make sense. It doesn't even make sense.
That was the...
No.
You know what? A for effort for that one.
LOL moment of the year. Speaking of great puns, we have Santino Marella come out to announce the nominees. New Day with the trombone and Christian and Edge with a kazoo. Big E ends up eating the kazoo. Forgot about how much I love that moment.
A valiant effort.
The Bushwhackers at the Hall of Fame ceremony. We have Miz and Ms. Dow presenting Miz's commercial, which is actually for erectile dysfunction. New Day again dancing with Steph and Triple H in the middle of the ring, and then finally R-Truth talking about what he's going to do at Money in the Bank, but he's not actually booked. That ends up winning the award. Santino tries to accept the award for R-Truth, but R-Truth comes out and does his own thing.
I agreed with this one. For once I that was the moment that made me legitimately laugh the
It was
hardest.
perfect timing.
Yeah.
We were all confused.
It was just meta enough to really like so that everyone could enjoy it.
Yeah, I honestly think that Big E trying to eat a kazoo got robbed, but as Cathy pointed out,
Monsieur Melancholy got blocked by R-Truth on Twitter. I'm sorry, I find that hilarious. Please continue.
That's what's up. But as Cathy pointed out, the New Day got nominated twice, so they probably split the vote. But I love the R-Truth moment. I'm happy that R-Truth.
That's great. But yeah, New Day Dancing with the Authority was also another one of my
they
favorite
have
moments.
so many good moments.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And you know what? This is honestly a really good year for R-Truth. I really loved his, King Truth feud with Barrett, coming out with the plunger and stuff. And I wouldn't say he's underused like Neville is, but he always brings it, and he always no matter what's asked of him. His mini feud with Stardust was fun.
And
he
he is more versatile than I think he gets credit for. Absolutely,
he's really great.
Because he was back in the Little Jimmy days, he was one of the top heels. and now he's solid and reliable for some good comedy moments as well.
And if you haven't watched The Table for Three yet with Miz and R-Truth and Curtis Axel, it's really awesome.
Oh, I gotta see that.
So good.
All of The Table for Three.
Yeah, all of The Table for Three
really
are good.
Yeah. Really solid show.
Yeah.
Should have won for.
Yeah. Oh no, I disagree, but go on.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
Saint Mick backstage with Elf Noel Foley.
No elf.
Noel Foley. Yeah.
How did you not pick up on that? He called her that.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, the fact that he named his daughter Noel.
That's also I forgot how much he legitimately loves Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he talks. I love this line when he was saying, "I really regret giving Xavier Woods that trombone last year."
That's good stuff.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they do this every year? Because I remember it from last year.
With
No.
Mick and
Mick
Elves?
and Noel. Yeah.
I don't think they did it last year.
They did it last year. Yeah.
Well, then
I mean, maybe
those are
it
only
was 2
2
years ago.
Maybe Mick as Santa, but I don't know if they started involving Noel until
yeah,
this year.
she was in it before.
Because this is
At least once before.
like over the past year, so I guess stretching back to about the last Slammies, Mick's been doing that 365-day Santa
Oh,
thing.
that's right.
So,
right.
That's it.
Well, all right.
It was fun.
Anyways, he is not the only Santa we see tonight. We'll talk about that later. The OMG most shocking moment of the year. Paul Heyman comes out to announce this one, and let's just get right to what won it, because this is an OMG moment for all of us. Kalisto wins the Salida del Sol from the top ladder at TLC just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I would have been pretty shocked if anything else had won this.
What were the other nominees? Do you remember? No.
Brock Lesnar F5ing Michael Cole during his
Not that
rampage
line.
after Seth Rollins denied him a title shot. We had Seth Rollins cashing in at Mania.
Oh yeah, that's the one I would have picked. That's the one I did pick when I voted.
Oh, I see.
Just
yeah.
because it was, I mean, I love the Salida del Sol. It's amazing. Like it was fantastic. Probably like the spot of the year. But I mean, that Seth Rollins thing was like important.
That's
and
true. That's
long-lasting.
very true.
And it capped off like what was a terrific WrestleMania, and it made like what was already an amazing match into a match that's like vital.
I mean, it changed a lot. Yeah.
The reason why this one won is because it's so recent in our
Right.
minds, and the
For
other
sure.
ones we remember, but we haven't seen in so long.
Right.
I will say I don't think my jaw has hung open as long as it did after that Salida del Sol.
So good.
I was watching it with my nephew, and he didn't understand why my hands were on my head and my jaw was just hanging
My
open.
OMG moment is that he came out to accept his own award, and that he's not just broken in like a hospital
And
bed somewhere.
the fact that he just has Rey Mysterio's exact voice.
What?
I had 6 surgeries in my left knee.
In my left knee. Deep cuts.
I love formal Kalisto was worth the price of admission.
That suit was sharp.
So good.
Yeah. Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. Kevin Owens wins this one.
Really good match.
But
Yeah.
these two obviously are two wrestlers that can go at it. Not going to disappoint there.
Last week it seemed like they were setting up a 3-way feud for the Intercontinental title.
Right.
But now that Owens has beat Ziggler clean, I mean, it'll probably still be a 3-way feud.
I'm sure. Yeah, it definitely will.
But a little bit more shine to Owens, a little bit more of a the opposite of shine to
Right, exactly, yeah.
It's weird having this much time between pay-per-views, like having TLC 2 weeks ago, and we still have a month
And
until...
we have 3 weeks between
I think
Survivor
it's
Series
the
and TLC.
24th. I'm not used to it. I'm used to having like 3 weeks.
Right.
and
But
then-
it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's
It
about
is.
to be the road to WrestleMania.
and it's
So exciting.
What is it, WWE Week on USA, where there's just something every single night. SmackDown going to be live
Super
tomorrow night.
SmackDown.
That's going to be
Live,
cool.
baby, live.
I'm going to
Yeah.
watch it.
And then the tribute to the troops.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow
much
I
happening.
missed Santa's Little Helper on Sunday. I legitimately want to watch that.
It's not
You
bad.
didn't DVR
I'm
it?
sure it's great.
not bad.
No, I forgot to.
I'm sure you can watch it somewhere.
I'm sure I can.
Or get it on DVD.
Hey, or digital HD.
Yeah.
That too. The superstar of the year, Steph announces this one and at first apologizes for losing her cool earlier in the evening towards Roman Reigns. But the superstar of the year they didn't even list everyone because there were so many people that were.
Well, every superstar was eligible.
Yeah. But they did show a little mini montage of like,
almost
here's
everyone.
who you should vote for.
But even like at the end, like after they showed like the highlighted people, they showed like little flashes.
Sure.
Of, like, everyone
Tyson
else.
Kidd got some love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins ends up winning this one, and I don't know that people thought he was going to be there, but he was.
Super awesome.
Came
He's like
out
the
on
one person who
crutches,
showed up.
yeah.
Right.
And then went on the mic to say, I will come back and reclaim the title that I never lost, whether it's from Roman Reigns or anyone else on the roster, so watch out.
Super awesome.
Right.
I was really hoping he would like come halfway out in the crutches and then like toss him down and like walk to the
Right.
because he's so superhuman.
Right, exactly. I know, I was a little bit surprised at that too, yeah.
Right.
Do you guys think that when he does make his official return, he is going to be the same Seth Rollins that we knew prior to him getting injured, or are we going to see him potentially be a babyface?
It all depends on the context.
Yeah, it depends on how long he's out. It depends on who's the champion at the time. It depends on what the authority's doing at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of variables between now and then.
Like, I think it's pretty safe to say he's going to make a surprise return when he finally comes back.
Right.
And he's going to get a massive, just like, almost the probably the level of like Cena showing up at the Rumble that one year.
Right.
Enormous.
And that's
what is the time frame? Is he going to be?
I think
he's not going to be
he was
cleared by the
supposed
Rumble,
to be out
right?
like 9 months.
When it happened, it was 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's ahead of schedule, so
Yeah,
probably
he's
like
been
5.
putting in
course
extra
he is.
rehab time. Yeah. But that's why I was also a little bit surprised that they showed him on camera tonight, because I would have thought that they would want to save as much as they possibly could for his eventual return.
Yeah. But it was also a nice little surprise.
Oh, it was great.
for sure.
Yeah.
It was great for sure. And I think this is the one thing that made me think, okay, maybe this isn't quite on the up and up, because why would he be in attendance on the off chance that he might win a fan vote?
Right.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But the fan voting was open for like a week, so they had time to see who's.
I see.
Because we haven't gotten one of these in a minute. Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger.
It's been so long.
I mean, like I held out hope at one point that Swagger might look good in this feud, but there's only so many times that you can have one person beat another person clean until it gets to a point where it's like.
Also, it's hard to look good when when you have Jonathan Taylor Thomas's haircut in the year 2015.
There's also that.
JTT, such a heartthrob.
Rocking the 90s
was,
hair
yes.
curtains.
Also, Jack Swagger proved that for as long as Alberto's corner stomp takes, it actually looks worse if you act like you're struggling to get out of it.
Right.
He was just sort of like, meh, 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 meh.
Yeah, we've got to.
Yeah, he was like sort of like pretending like Alberto was stepping on his hands and like pretending like he was gonna tap Alberto's
I mean,
toes.
like the impact itself looked great.
Yeah.
But we've got to jettison that finish.
Going back to the LOL moment of the year, I wish that they had switched out New Day, Steph, and Triple H dancing in the middle of the ring for Zeb Coulter scooting away
the silent
as
scoot
Alberto
away.
Del Rio throws something at him and misses from 5 feet.
And then Zeb's like,
The silent scoot away was pretty incredible.
so good. There were actually 2 in that episode too.
There were.
It's because Jack yelled at him at ringside,
Right.
and then Zeb's like, zzz.
And he was just
Guys, please, that was so serious.
super serial, guys. But yeah, I mean, it's just how many more times are we going to see Alberto Del Rio just beat Jack Swagger clean in various match types?
I would guess a few more
I
times.
mean, maybe a few more. None of them with the title on the line.
Like I think that this was like the holding pattern show where it's
Right.
like we have the Slammies and then we're gonna wrap up some feuds
Right.
and then we'll move on.
I think this match also made me realize like the US title is just becoming a championship that regularly doesn't get defended unless your name is John Cena. Like
just like every other championship.
we're getting these long reigns with like only an occasional defense on a pay-per-view.
I don't think that, I mean, like with the Slammies, you can't really have progress on the storylines because there is so much to cover. We didn't have any backstage segments.
But that's why I feel like so many of the awards could be cut or left to the app.
Well, there were like 8 awards they didn't even show on the broadcast.
Why
Right.
even have the awards if you're going to cut them, though? Like, they should have a special show each year, so I'm fine with it.
I mean, if they want to make, they could make it their own separate show like it used to be, like its own. But I don't think we need to be sacrificing storyline progression for this one thing that we're going to mention maybe a couple times over the course of an entire year.
Although Cathy did point this out, it was a hell week for travel for these guys. So I'm sure they're probably thankful for like a week where it's like not too intensive on most of them for in-ring stuff.
Without having a pay-per-view, they had 2 super shows. They were in Los Angeles one day, then they had to fly on a red-eye to Winnipeg, Canada. Like, those are not close places.
Sure.
And then from Canada, Winnipeg, they all went to Minneapolis.
Sure. But look at the size of their roster. You're telling me there's nobody that could fill in for any of their regulars?
What do you mean? Tonight?
Yeah. Why couldn't
it's already a show where half of the people winning Slammys aren't in the building, so you have to you can't screw over the people like that for Raw,
right?
Because they're showing up for Raw. They weren't showing up very much for the Forum show, but
yeah, that's what I'd heard.
I mean, like, it was a good crowd. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. But anyways, the next Slammy Award goes to the hero in us all. Mark Henry announces this one, or was it Hero in us all? I didn't just make that up. No. Between Natty, Roman Reigns, Big Show, Titus O'Neil, and John Cena, all of them did incredible things this year, and you know,
that's why I thought it was a little bit weird to put it in the context of like, hey, one of these is going to win and be a better charitable action.
And also, like, to ask the fans, like, who do you think did the best charitable work this year? Like, honestly, like, I think that Titus probably should have won it. But
sure.
John Cena does so much.
Absolutely.
Like, there's no not
has
winner.
more Make-A-Wishes than anyone.
Right. The best part of this segment to me was Mark Henry being like, and here's the winner. Oh, I got to open it? Okay.
Yeah, it was weird, but you know, I'm glad that all of them got at least, you know, some sort of recognition, obviously, as they should.
Yeah. I mean, to have the schedule that they do and then still do any charity work is huge. But to do that much. Surprise return of the year announced by Santa, or
a very squeaky voice Santa.
Bo Dallas.
Why didn't he say Bo, 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 Bo?
Or
wow, that's such a missed opportunity.
Either way. But he announces that the surprise return of the year is Sting after he scares every child in the arena and just pulls down his beard.
It's me, surprise! On Donner, on Blitzen.
I still thought his finisher when he was down at NXT, sorry guys, was he should have had the flying elbow.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
And that was your cupcakes and developmental moment of the night.
We need to make it its own segment.
Don't worry, guys.
We need to make it its own segment.
He could have done the bow and arrow.
Moving on. The comeback of the year, Sting, guys. Woo!
Sting wins, and was this your surprise return of the year?
My surprise return of the year was Alberto, because that was the only one that legitimately surprised me.
Because he was still signed by another company.
No matter what happened after it, it was the most surprising return of the year.
I feel bad for as tired as I think I've gotten of the Dudleys recently. That return, I think, might have shocked me more than any of them.
Okay.
Just because it had been so long, and there somehow wasn't a leak on every single one of the dirt sheets leading up to it. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised at this, just because like I don't feel like Sting was gone for that long when he made this return.
He was.
No, okay, it wasn't just me.
Also, like, it's still funny that he sweated half of his face paint off
He
while he was waiting in there.
so melty.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
He was so melty.
John Doe has the upper hand.
I remember sitting there in the arena and them loading the box into the center. That took so long. And then,
Amazing.
it was melted Sting.
Yep.
I'm melting! New Day comes out to the ring, and they say
shamed everyone.
Yeah, they basically said that Sting wins a Slammy and doesn't even care about being here to accept it. Doesn't care about any of you guys, and how could you not vote for us for the tag team of the year? Shame, shame, shame.
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 Shame, little
Shame.
dog.
Shame, Auntie.
Shame.
Shame.
They have a match against the Usos, the handicap match. And I think New Day also has a match tomorrow night on SmackDown against the Lucha Dragons for the tag titles, which I don't know. I feel like that's going to be one of the matches of the evening because they're trying to promote SmackDown being on USA.
Sure. And we've also,
live.
as one of our helpful fans mentioned in chat roll, they've also got a triple threat for the Intercontinental title, as we were talking about that three-way program between Owens.
So to make up for the lack of matches tonight, they're going to do a lot more tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow the Wyatts will advance to whoever
their new feud.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's asking a mighty lot for SmackDown.
The Wyatts don't work Tuesdays.
Are we gonna see actual angles being progressed on SmackDown in the new year?
I believe so. I think I'm really excited for SmackDown in the new year. Not just what's his name?
Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ronaldo. Leading up the commentary.
Yeah.
But it moving to USA, I think there's going to be a lot more.
There are supposed to be big changes coming. There's WWE has said many times they're going to focus on revamping it, on renewing interest in it, and then Mauro Ranallo actually in his most recent interview with Jonathan Snowden of Bleacher Report, he said that
a hybrid between
the plan is to make it a hybrid between the best of what works on NXT and what works on the main roster.
Interesting.
So that
sounds
really thrilling.
Yeah.
The head writer for NXT recently moved to SmackDown in the new year, so we're going to see a lot of those changes implemented.
Nice.
As well as, I think that, commentary needs someone, having someone with the UFC, MMA background coming into this, it legitimizes it that much more.
And also Ronaldo is
and he's a huge fan.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's what they need. Yeah.
And it's really surprising if people don't know this. Michael Cole's actually the person who reached out to Ronaldo and said, "We want to bring you aboard here."
Nice.
And so, props to Michael Cole, who doesn't get a lot of props.
Yeah. And I'm excited for SmackDown to move beyond Practice Raw because it can be so much more than that.
Or Raw recap.
Or exactly, yeah.
Previously on Raw.
It should be must-see television. If you're going to have 5 hours of TV every week, there should be pieces. If you're going to recap something, it should be something we legitimately missed and should have seen, and it gets you excited to go back. Oh, I missed that moment. Wow, I need to watch that entire match.
Yeah.
I honestly think that they should consider splitting the roster again. They have so many people. They have so many people, and I mean, it might.
Or just have storylines progress that are specifically on that.
Sure.
You can have Tyler Breeze, how they did earlier in the year, of him only having matches on SmackDown, the storyline progressing on SmackDown. So if you're a fan of him, you have to watch there. You can see him
kind of an unofficial
sparsely.
roster split.
Yeah, you can see him a little bit to promote his matches on there. It's the same as UFC, MMA. You'll see fighters on certain pay-per-views or them do promos for that, but they're specifically on the next pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot like that. But I think that, especially, they have so many people, and they have so many people in NXT, and they have so many people waiting in the Performance Center to come up to NXT, that it would really benefit everyone instead of, because Raw is 3 hours long, and instead of, here's some of the people that you didn't see on Raw, but here's a lot of people that you did see on Raw, instead of doing that, being 3 hours of Raw and then 2 hours of SmackDown with other people.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. It's potentially very exciting.
I mean, it's this it's a blessing and a curse. They've kind of backed themselves into this corner of 3 hours of Raw, and it's pretty well known that they can't just cut an hour. As much good as that would do.
No, you can't put that cat back in the bag.
Right, exactly.
There's so much advertising revenue on the line now, and there's so much ratings.
But when Raw is good, it's great.
Of course. And I'm just saying.
We need 3 hours.
I'm just saying, all the people who complain about it being 3 hours, you can't put that cat back in that bag.
Right. exactly.
It's done. And barring the president of USA being like the ratings are too low, you have to make a change.
Right.
It's going to be 3 hours.
Right.
It just is. There's money in 3 hours.
Right, exactly. And I think, and I disagree. I don't think it needs to be 3 hours, but it's like you said, you can't unring that bell.
Right.
But it is when it is great, it is awesome, but it just, that needs to go from, oh, hey, it was great, to being, oh, wow, this was great again.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the match that we didn't really talk about, the New Day versus Usos?
I mean, it was good for what it was, but how much are you really stacking the deck against the Usos when you're putting this already semi-active Xavier Woods on the team?
Yeah.
It's really nothing like... Steph has put entire rosters against people before. This wasn't really stacking any
Just
sort of
an extra person.
deck against them.
The thing worth talking about in this match was Xavier Woods wearing Iron Sheik boots for no reason.
Yeah.
It's the holidays. He was wearing elf boots.
Okay. Black elf boots.
He wanted to stand out. He didn't have time to do his hair, so...
Gotta stand out.
Oh man, what if he had fashioned his hair into like a Buddy the Elf hat?
Did you see that picture of him?
What's your favorite color? Buddy the Elf. What's your favorite color? No.
Rainbows? I don't remember.
You didn't. Yeah.
Oh.
World's greatest cup of coffee. Congratulations.
Did you guys see that picture of Xavier Woods with his hair done up like hot pink Ruby Rod from The Fifth Element?
No.
Holy crap.
That was what it was supposed to be at the last pay-per-view before you thought that they weren't worth it.
It's a pretty incredible... For as much as I love The Fifth Element, it was amazing.
How do we get, after how many times Bill Hanstock has been on this show, someone asking, who the hell is Bill?
Oh,
Bill's royalty around these parts,
Hi,
y'all.
I'm Bill.
He writes about this stuff.
You can find me on Twitter at Sundown Motel. I write for Cage Side Seats and SB Nation.
He's verified.
This is Bill.
CageSideSeats.com, SBNation.com/wrestling.
This man has a check mark.
Have you ever sung, I'm just a Bill, just a lonely old Bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill?
There's several songs with Bill in the...
It's my favorite song.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad.
From Schoolhouse Rock.
Right, sure.
Naturally.
So you should go to Capitol Hill and sing that, though, because that'd be great.
Okay, next time I'm in Capitol Hill, I'll do that.
All right.
Okay. Divas... or not Divas Match of the Year, Diva of the Year. This is announced by R-Truth, Slammy winner R-Truth, and...
Just to make this ultra topical. And I mean, it was far more topical than most references.
If you guys missed it, I'm sure all of you watched the Miss Universe pageant this last weekend. Steve Harvey accidentally crowned
Harvey.
I miss Mike Adamley.
crowned the wrong winner, and that did not suck, Master Keith.
I just love Cathy. That sucked.
Schoolhouse Rock.
I don't know
what
he's referring
Schoolhouse
to.
Rock.
Master Keith has just been demoted to Apprentice Keith.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah.
There we go.
House Rock. There, topical.
Yes.
Apparently we're off topic.
Yes. Because we're reading chat. You guys are off topic. Hello. But R-Truth pulled the Steve Harvey, announced the wrong winner of Diva of the Year. He announces Paige is the winner. She comes out and says, wow, I didn't even come up with a speech. I didn't think that I would win. Thank you guys so much. And then R-Truth realizes the mistake. Nikki comes out to accept her award for Diva of the Year.
The deserving winner of Diva of the Year, if we're talking about WWE main roster divas.
Sure.
Well, she, I think a lot of people would argue against that, but her speech alone, thanking not just the other women on the main roster, anyone that she went against in the ring this year, all the girls at NXT, I can talk about it because it's topical, and then any girl that's ever purchased a ticket to come out to one of the shows. I thought that was a really cool moment.
And for those of you who don't watch Total Divas, those are just Nikki's normal walking around clothes. That's how she would dress for a street fight. Like, that's her equivalent of jeans.
Yeah. Sure. Just keeping it cash, guys.
Yeah. It's total cash.
But no, I absolutely agree.
I mean, no diva on the main roster has improved more over the past however many years.
Absolutely.
Like Nikki turned into like a legitimate, like the Hoss of the Divas division.
She really did.
Non-Nia Jax. Yes.
Yes, Nia. Can't talk about that.
Nikki's just improved so much. She turned into like a bruiser. She's awesome.
I mean, I've said
it
as much as I love Wade Barrett, and I absolutely love Wade Barrett, she is just clobbering people with her forearm.
So good.
So much harder than he's bullhammering people.
Yeah.
Just reading chat roll. Just read the chats
I like
that
the
are
idea
on topic,
of I like the idea of Mark
Okay.
yelling in our headsets like Vince McMahon.
You're fired!
Son of a bitch, stay on topic.
Talk more about developmental.
He's got up here. He's got up here.
The next match of the evening, Adrian Neville versus Rusev.
With Miz on commentary.
With Miz on commentary, looking quite dapper.
Yeah.
Neville ends up winning this matchup.
Nope.
Oh.
That's wrong.
Who?
The opposite.
Rusev ends up winning this matchup. My notes are wrong.
But yeah, Rusev wins with the accolade. It's a great match when Neville can just kind of pinball off of a Haas like Rusev.
Yeah.
And then we get one of the many brogue kicks that we would see over the course of the night.
I did like that, like, Neville went up for the red arrow, and then, like, Rusev, like, got up and, like, walked across the ring away from him. And then Neville, like, still jumped off and Mark suggested, like, he was trying to scare him. Like, I gotta make myself look big.
Spook him. Yeah, I mean, really, like, getting up and just walking across the ring is kind of the most effective way to counter any aerial moves, really.
So after this match, Miz announces the "This is awesome" moment of the year.
Well, before that, Sheamus, the League of Nations held Neville. Sheamus brogue kicked Neville.
Right. And we did see earlier in the night Sheamus brogue kicked.
At that point, it was
Jack
shaping
Swagger.
up to be a huge night for the League of Nations because two of them had won big matches. King Barrett was there. He had a shirt on.
Right.
So it was shaping up to be a huge night for the League of Nations with Sheamus in the main event.
A lot of people wondered, we haven't really discussed this on our show, but Wade Barrett has been out because of injury. Mm-hmm. They said that it's not that severe, but there is nerve damage. And so people were wondering whether we would see him soon or not. And
there he is.
Yeah, we could see him in action tomorrow on SmackDown, SmackDown Super Show.
Yeah.
Who's he going against?
Who knows? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That was just speculation on my part.
Oh, I see. Oh, we could see.
We could.
Oh, I thought you said we're going to.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
Got really excited, and I'm not.
He could be. Speculation.
So then The Miz announces that this is awesome moment of the year. Nominees are Lesnar smashing Rollins' new car, RKO to Seth Rollins, Steph announcing the women of the Divas Revolution, Shield reunited for one night only to triple powerbomb Randy Orton, Rock bringing Ronda Rousey out to the ring to attack Stephanie at WrestleMania.
And that was the winner.
Yes. What'd you guys think of the winner?
I think that was probably the right choice. That or whatever the second thing you said.
The RKO from WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think I would have gone with that.
I voted for this one, and this was the Becky, Charlotte, and Sasha coming out, because that was a This Is Awesome moment of my entire watching wrestling.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think my only issue with because are you talking about when Steph kind of brought them all up?
Yeah.
I think my only issue with that is just this whole story of Steph being the one that's like, here, have all of these. I started all of this. I think that was kind of my only issue with that whole.
I think that it fit because of the prior feuds that Stephanie's had with the Bellas. So it was, in that moment, it was, watch out, because I'm introducing more.
Because I feel like I feel like that reduces all of the new women to just like her thugs. Then, if we're looking at it through that context,
it doesn't. It gives, like, she's giving them the opportunity to fight, and I don't know. I didn't see it as an issue.
I think I don't know. I think I just would have liked to see them come up a little more organically than just Steph kind of waving a magic wand and making it so.
the fact that it was such a surprise and all of them came up at the exact same time was such a... I mean, that was a surprise in itself.
Well, and also the storyline to that point had been Paige complaining, like, the Bellas are running roughshod over the division. Someone has to, something has to change.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I mean, and in this world, even in this kayfabe world, it's not like NXT people can just come up whenever they want. Like, in theory, they can.
We've had people say, like, Paige could have said, well, here, because I haven't had anyone in my corner, I called up some of my friends.
Right.
And then Becky and Charlotte come up, but that wouldn't have allowed Sasha to enter into the mix as well.
Right.
But with as much retconning as they've done, I think they really could have done it in any way that they wanted to.
Sure.
I like that moment, and I'm going to remember it forever.
I'm glad.
Speaking of the women, we have a match between Brie Bella and Becky Lynch. Becky picks up the win, and...
I like Miller S.I.'s LOL moment of the year where he reheated a burger during Machine Gun Kelly. That was my vote for the LOL moment of the year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Becky picks up the win with the disarmer over Brie. Quick match, but
I thought it was, as far as Brie matches go, pretty good.
Yeah.
She worked the arm. She looked pretty good. I have a soft spot for Brie because Total Divas is like my favorite show, like legitimately my favorite show on television. But
more so than Raw.
But I have a Brie mode shirt. But
do you have a Come On Nikki shirt?
No, I'm going to at some point though. Come on, Nikki. But I do like Brie's running knee attack.
Oh, she just murders people with that.
She destroys
Good Lord.
Like, if she could just stop doing the yes kicks, I think that she'd be okay.
Right? Stop reminding us of that guy that we love that's not here.
This might be the best Brie Bella match of all time. Like, tonight. Yeah? Like, I thought it was a fine match.
Yeah?
Match of her life. Winner of the Match of Her Life Slammy Award.
Well, the match of her life is Daniel Bryan.
Hey-o! OTP,
match
y'all.
Made in
OTP.
heaven.
That was beautiful.
They're so good together. Oh,
yeah.
They complement each other so well.
Yes. Flair comes out. Ric Flair comes out to announce the match of the year.
The mature boy, Ric Flair.
That's really funny. That's super funny.
Undertaker and Brock Lesnar's Hell in a Cell match picks this one up. And Heyman comes out to accept on behalf of his client, Brock Lesnar.
This was probably my vote. Well, of the nominees, this was probably my vote. It's that, or it's of the 5 nominees, it's that, or it's the triple threat.
I think
Rumble.
The triple threat
They're
for me,
both
for sure.
So good, but it's just, I think that a combination of the Hell in a Cell match, like blowing away everyone's expectations and just being so creative and so violent, and it actually feels like it meant something. Like the triple threat was great and it had stakes at the time,
right?
But ultimately, like, it's not sort of a milestone moment like the end of the
I think that's really what it comes down to. Is there's 2 types of matches that get nominated for match of the year, and it's the matches that are technically brilliant, like the triple threat, and there's matches that mean so much and they're you remember them.
And like for that reason, like, a bigger place in my heart is reserved for what ended up being the triple threat that main evented WrestleMania, than the Rumble triple threat.
Sure,
but a great match, amazing match.
Yeah,
I think it was unfortunate that they separated John Cena's United States Open challenges, like best, because there was a separate category for best U.S. Open. And did Zayn win it?
Cesaro won it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
The cage is coming down as the camera shoots backstage. League of Nations are assaulting the Usos, and it's absolute chaos. They take them out. But back to the ring.
Would you say they got Usoned? How come you don't like my puns? If anyone should like my puns.
I feel like Cathy feels threatened by your puns.
No. They're just not good.
That one was good.
Thank you.
That one was good.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll give that one to you.
Thanks.
So even though there was the cage, everyone still tried to get involved in this match.
Right.
Ambrose's flying elbow off the top was
awesome.
intense,
terrifying,
gruesome.
Good.
Right.
Worried for him. But this all ends with Ambrose and Sheamus at the top, trading punches, punch for punch. And then Ambrose falls first.
So many
wins.
logistical issues.
It ends with Sheamus proving he is the stupidest person.
Both of them
WWE.
looked like straight up dummies at the end of this match.
If Ambrose was at the top, Sheamus should have just ran for the door, right? As opposed to going to attack Ambrose.
Could have dropped. Like, there are so many things.
And there was no reason for Ambrose to even go to the top.
You
Bill
just pointed
versus
out.
Cathy pun off. I'm booking that for
nice.
after.
Well, like you just pointed out, like
Thunder.
Ambrose had already jumped from much higher earlier in the match.
Much higher, yeah. And I feel like if we're talking about logistical issues, why didn't all of the League of Nations just get in the ring and gang up on Dean Ambrose from the beginning?
Well, yeah.
No DQ.
That wouldn't have been very nice.
It certainly wouldn't have. But I think that's just, those are the sort of logistical plot holes that you open up by introducing no DQ matches where it's a 4-on-1 situation, because there's no reason it shouldn't have been 4-on-1 the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, they put so much effort into taking out all of the other babyfaces over the course of the night that there's all of these holes that you can drive a Mack truck through.
Sheamus's character is just so dumb, though. It's like,
Super
I'm
dumb.
so confident. Why not, instead of firing Roman Reigns, I put my belt on the line?
That was super...
How about that?
Right.
Who's a dummy now?
I always hate, like, the...
You look stupid, and you are.
Yeah.
I always hate the hubris of, like, you know what? I'm going to teach you a lesson by giving you an opportunity to win this. That's the only issue I had when Paige debuted against AJ, is it was like the exact same situation.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite matches, too.
I figured it would have been.
And also, it was the last time we ever saw the Page Turner. The last time we ever will.
I forgot about that move.
They were like, that looked bad.
Yeah. Ooh. Start doing that sweet DDT or that cool submission you can do on top of a table. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there was no reason for Dean to go to the top of the cage. Certainly no reason for Sheamus to go after him.
SM down 9, H9 points out a good, because before Ambrose did that flying elbow off the cage, he was on the corner and Yusuf and Alberto were like creeping up.
Right.
Like
Like, what are they going to do? Catch him on the way down?
He could have just jumped over them. Like, he's so crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a lunatic.
Or he could have just, like, there's a cable behind him. He could have just swung around and, like, slid down the cable.
Right. But I think I would
Indiana Jones it.
I would have loved just like Reigns just clinging onto the cage, the chair over his arm, and Sheamus just hopping down and going through the door.
That was amazing, by the way. He climbed up with a chair slung over his arm, and then he threw it in the ring, and it landed.
And it landed in a perfect opened position. That was pretty incredible.
His superpower.
Our handsome prince can truly do no wrong.
It really can't.
The moment of the match, though, for me was Reigns flying in from off camera.
That camera work was incredible.
So good.
Just we see Alberto Del Rio walking around, and just out of nowhere,
kablamo. I'm looking forward to that GIF tomorrow.
It was good stuff.
Yeah. After the match, after Ambrose makes his way to the ground, Reigns just spears Sheamus.
Yeah, that was cool too.
Right.
Sheamus drops and gets.
Looks like he's about to go back after Ambrose.
Yeah.
And
there would have been, that was another thing we were pointing out, there would have been no reason for him not to, so at least they addressed that.
Right.
Yeah. But overall, solid show with some slammies involved.
Someone wants you to slap Ty. It would be a Christmas
that's
gift.
Pretty standard.
Why does
Johnny's
that
not
need to be a
here.
thing?
Seems mean.
I'm not Johnny LaCosta. I don't take that.
Well.
Nope.
You're
a Grinch,
Johnny's
Ty.
stunt double.
I give that the Dikembe finger
You're
wave.
supposed to be positive and say yes to everything. Isn't that
That's not what positivity means at all.
hyper optimism?
There you go.
Yeah, you just put your hand out and then I slap it away.
You can slap my hand. We can have a high five off.
Oh, cool.
That slap ain't happening, y'all.
I'll take one of those. It's a boom.
Yeah.
Transitive high five.
Woo.
Right
Over to you.
Transitive property, y'all.
Yeah.
Last show before Christmas for us.
Our last AfterBuzz of 2015,
Yeah.
y'all.
Sad times.
Yeah.
This has been a good year.
It has been a good year.
I joined the team on a regular basis on May the 4th be with you.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully by 2016 people will know who Bill is.
Yep.
Maybe.
He's verified. Check mark. Google it. Googs it.
Yeah, Googs it.
He's a real person and we're
Tom.
not, according to Twitter.
That's an abbrev.
I forget, that was one of my favorite segments.
Yeah, for sure.
Such an underrated segment. But everyone has been incredible. All of our amazing fans. I don't know if you guys saw Clement. Clement made some incredible retro Star Wars trading cards featuring the AfterBuzz Raw squad.
Whoa.
We've got amazing fans.
And I also
Mustafa
have to give
and Andrea.
A shout out to Mitchell Copley tonight, who had an AfterBuzz TV Raw sign.
Yes,
that he
absolutely.
Made.
Nice.
He tweeted that to us.
Representing the squad.
Thank you so much for that, Mitchell.
Mitchell is the
but
best.
Seriously, thank you to everyone
Thanks
who
to everyone.
has watched, commented positively over the past
My boy
year.
Hussein.
Thank you to everyone who has been in chat roll, watched live, those who have been in the UK and stayed up until 4 a.m. or whatever.
Mustafa always keeping us supplied with some topical
Plenty of memes
every single week. I always
Yes.
enjoy those.
So thank you guys so much. Of course, we would love it if you take 30 seconds, go over to iTunes, rate, subscribe, and comment there. Give us 5 stars. Helps us out a lot and helps us grow the shows here to potentially get some more guests and interviews in. Also, follow us for the next week or however long until you're back. Hopefully, we'll get you back a bunch more in the new year.
I'd love to come back anytime you want me.
Bill, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Where can they find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at Sundown Motel. Check us out, cagesidesteats.com, sbnation.com/wrestling, and please check out my weekly wrestling podcast, Rudo Radio. It's on iTunes, anywhere you can find podcasts.
Awesome. Ty?
You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram at Ty Matthews PMA. You can find my writing on Smosh or in the pages of Alternative Press and Outburn. My very first profile on the awesome band Ghost Town just came out this month's issue, so that's pretty exciting. Other than that, watch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood every Saturday afternoon, 4 p.m., KDOC locally, and U2 America nationally.
And I think it's going to be expanding pretty soon.
You know what? We just got some local TV in New York, so New York fans, you can watch us now.
Worldwide.
Absolutely. Getting global, y'all.
Yep.
But come out, I think January 10th is the next set of tapings.
You're correct.
At the Ocean View Pavilion.
The Percy Pringle Cup.
Yeah, PP3, y'all.
Wait, January what now?
January
10th. It's going to be free, 3 p.m. My protege, Eric Watts, is in the tournament, so come on out. See me, see him.
See what's up.
Yeah. You can see Cathy. She'll be there.
I will be there.
Will Pretty Peter Avalon be there?
He, the heritage champion, Pretty Peter Avalon, he will be there.
Perfect.
And so many others as well. Well, thank you guys again for joining us this year. You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelley, on Instagram at Cathy Kelley, and I have a couple more shows this week here at AfterBuzz, so check out our Breaking Ground after show as well as our NXT after show, where I will be talking about developmental for an entire hour.
And cupcakes.
And cupcakes too. Thank you guys again. Thank you to Johnny, who is not here unfortunately. Thank you to Hobo. Thank you to Mark for being in the booth.
And Jimbo for all the times that he's produced this as well.
Yes, definitely.
The amazing producers here.
What were you going to say, Mark?
I love you all.
Aww. Love you
Even
too.
you, Ty. Once in a lifetime.
Absolutely.
Well,
Only once, never again.
Never again.
Go see Star Wars.
do all that. Thank you guys so much, and see you all next year.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.